Hey, what's happening, guys? What you see here is a simple Raspberry Pi layout. This is a Raspberry Pi 3 inside this little reddish colored case. A 7-inch HDMI LCD touchscreen. Cheap little USB keyboard. And I mean, I'm sure you're all familiar with the Raspberry Pi. In case you're not, here's, the 10-second rundown. Inside here is a single board computer capable of running just about every version of Linux out there. And it's often used for retro gaming, home projects. It's like an Arduino on steroids, basically. So this is pretty cool. And you've seen it before. I've done a few videos on how to install the operating system, how to hook different things up, and you've even seen a video on this little case here. It has a little fan under there, which is pretty nice. But what I want to talk about today are a couple of different cases that I picked up from 52Pi. And 52Pi is one of my favorite places to get Raspberry Pi stuff from. I'll post a link to their website down below. Now, inside this nice big box, and this is called the SuperPi case. Inside this nice big box is a nice Nintendo looking Raspberry Pi case. I mean, this is very nicely done. Wow, look at that safe shutdown. Oh, this is a fantastic case. Let's see what else we got in the box here. Yeah, it says it also comes with a USB gamepad. Got a little diagram instruction sheet type thing. Wow. Nice little carrying case. And a screwdriver. So, what do we say? We take the Raspberry Pi out of its current home and we put it in here. Right, so hopefully I've got everything we need ready to put this together. And if we look here at the instructions, the first instruction says to hook up the USB line. So it only shows one on the instruction manual, but there's two here. So we'll connect them both. Like that. And then next, we're supposed to hook this connector to the Pi's GPIO port. Now, there's no color coding, but let's zoom in here real close. If you notice, there's one wire left out there, so that gives us a nice key to put this together. And we put that like that. And okay. Well, I do have a couple of concerns. I don't know. Nope, everything's fitting okay. Alright. So, my concern was looking here at the Pi's power port, and you can see there's nothing there, but there is something down there, and that's what this is providing power to the Pi through that GPIO. So next, we need to use these little black screws they've provided here. And we shall mount the Pi firmly in place. You'll need to watch me putting in screws, right? Okay. Alright, well, 2 of the screws are in. One of them got launched somewhere into low Earth orbit and will probably never be seen again until the vacuum cleaner finds it. So yeah, that was special. Alright, so our next step is just to install these 4 screws. I can get my fingers to actually grab them. Okay, so that's why they gave us the skinny screwdriver. There was no mention of the fan in the instructions. Okay, look, I'm going to take this apart again, mainly because of the fan, and also, I don't know how well you guys can see in there. The SD card looks a little cocked. Just give me a second. Okay, I installed the fan. Like I said, even though it's not mentioned. There we go. Get the SD card where it can be accessed. That will be better. No, it doesn't quite want to seem to. There we go. Nothing like a good crunching sound to let you know when something's in place, right? Come on. Hey, caramba. The screws are going into plastic. That means you're going to have a limited number of cycles of taking them in and out. But there are ways around that. Okay. It says make sure this switch is off before we assemble. Dropping things left and right. Alright, so it's all assembled. And it's got some neat features. Like I said, it looks like a Nintendo. You got your 2 USB ports here. Over here, you have access to 2 more. And your LAN port. And that somehow is supposed to snap back up in there, but it's eluding me at the moment. Yeah. There we go. On the back we have audio, video, HDMI out. We have a power switch, a reset switch, and this is pretty cool. If you press the eject button, you have micro SD storage on top. So you could switch between, I don't know, what's the latest version of Raspbian? Stretch, I think? Or the RetroPi. Whatever flavor of Pi you desire. So we'll just plug her in here. Make sure everything is as it should be. There we go, power on. Yeah, I see nothing. No power light here. And the switch is obviously working. I can hear it. I know I plugged that in correctly. One more moment. Alright, opened up the case again. Just trying to verify where the problem may be. So we'll plug the power back in down here and flip the power switch. Now we got power to the Pi this time. But there's nothing here. See this? There's no LED light and there's nothing going on. Power switch is off. Power switch is on. I hit the reset. Still nothing. Power switch is off. Safe shutdown is off. Power switch is on. Okay, do we have something now? Well, we got power here now. There's still something going on here. So let's plug our Pi directly into a power socket. Is it not booting? Okay, I'm really confused now. Another moment. Okay, guys. It only took me a couple minutes to find the problem. And the problem was right here behind the keyboard. You ever heard the phrase PEBCAC? Problem exists between keyboard and computer? Yeah. That's me. So, when I put the Pi in here originally and pressed it into place, I don't know how well you can see that, but hey, I broke my SD card in half because I am a total dipshit. So, after copying Stretch onto a new keyboard or onto a new SD card and reinstalling it, things do seem to be working better. We're booting up here. This is the latest version of RasPi and Stretch. I was running Jesse, which I was happy with, but now I have Stretch. So, as you can see, everything is good. Yeah, we're not getting the entire screen because I have to put in parameters. And I did not do that yet. I will. But I didn't feel like waiting anymore. But as you can see, everything is now running on the Pi. Although it doesn't seem to like my USB adapter, and again, that's a my problem, not a their problem. So my recommendations are that they make a couple changes to their instructions. Number one being install the fan first, and number two, instead of just putting please be careful when handling the parts, it's not our responsibility, put in there do not install Raspberry Pi with SD card installed. So Let's see how the reset button works. I have pressed the reset button. I'm not sure I like that because it did not go through a proper shutdown. And that is no bueno for your basic Raspberry Pi. You definitely need to shut down the file system before doing a restart or a complete shutdown. Or else bad things can happen, I'm relatively certain, but it seems to be okay in this case. Anywho, if I can get my keyboard to come back online. Come on, keyboard. There we go. We will do a proper shutdown and move on to our other case. Now, this case again is called the 52Pi Retroflag Original SuperPi Case-J NES Case Kit with functional button for Raspberry Pi. It lists for $39.99. Again, I'll put a link below where you can get it. 52Pi has a store on AliExpress. So that's it for this one. Let's take a look at the other case. Okay, our second case for the evening is this one. This is the Armor Case Super Cooling Case for Raspberry Pi. Nice little instruction book. This is the top half, and this is aluminum or aluminium. And this is the bottom half. So Pi is going to fit in here like so. And like so, except for one thing. And that is, I've got heat sinks on mine. So let's see if we can convince them to come off. All right, there's one. And there's two. And there are a bunch of Harleys outside my window because summer is ending and you got to get your Harley going, right? Okay. So install the thermal tape to the heatsink, both bottom and top panels. So we will do that. Now, while I'm doing this, let me just say that while I like both of these cases, I haven't used this one yet, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm not a gamer. So the Raspberry Pi case, the NES Pi case, really doesn't interest me so much. And I would be willing to send it to someone who would get more use out of it than I would. So you need to be in the United States, unless you want to pay for international shipping, in which case, hell yeah, come on. And just to make it rewarding for the folks who support the channel via Patreon, I'm going to say you need to be a patron. So if you're a patron and you want it, let me know. First person that says they want it gets it. gonna have to contact me on Patreon. Okay. So then we'll remove the little protective covering here. And we'll sit our pie on it like so. Whoops. We have a little bit of debris there. No problemo. Then I'm gonna, you don't need to watch me do this. It took longer than it should have to peel that paint or that tape off of there like that. I should sit down on there like that. Next, use the screws that we provided. Okay. And looks like we go in through the bottom because the top is the threaded part. They appear to have provided extra screws. They must know me. Alright, I'm going to screw this together. Okay, so I'm putting in the last screw and the thought occurs to me, I don't know much about metallurgy. Does the anodizing on this aluminum hinder the thermal transfer in any way? Just a question. Alright, so far, I like how it looks. This is solid. It adds some weight to your pie, which I think is a nice thing. It'll stay put. So the next thing we need to see is how to connect the fan. Oh, come on, focus. Really? Focus. Okay. So if we turn it like this, it looks like we need to go to the second and third ones on the top row. So, like that. Zoom out here. And put in our SD card. And somewhere, there it is, my keyboard dongle. Yep, that light's on. It just doesn't seem very bright here. Maybe it's just me that's not so bright. And we'll plug in our HDMI. Power up our screen. And power up the Pi. There's our screen. Here, I can turn this light out now. So you'll be able to see the screen better, right? I'm going to turn this one on so we can actually see what's going on the desk. Now this case has no power switches, reset switches, or anything like that. Okay. I'm going to turn the light on for a minute here so you can see. The fans are whirling, which is a good sign. And there is our welcome to Pi message. Zoom in here. I know it's not focusing. Now maybe? How about now? No. Oh, frustrating. Very frustrating. Now do you want to focus? Now? No. Okay. Well, anyway, you can kind of see the screen there. You can see that it's working. I do like this little case. It's small, it's heavy, it's metal. Your GPIO pins are unprotected, but hey, I can live with that. Can you live with that? Okay. Still don't want to focus. There we go. This looks perfectly bright to me. I have no idea why it doesn't want to show up on camera. But yeah, there it is, working good in its new little case. Everything seems fine. So there are two cases from 52Pi. This one is $29, and the other one was $39. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. Look at a couple cases for the Raspberry Pi. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Feel free to comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Big thanks to all my patrons. Big thanks to 52Pi for sending these out for our consideration. That's it. I'm out. Peace.